I'm Thomas, and today you join me with the 2024 McLaren 750S, so stay tuned for this video. So I'm going to give you a walk around of this fantastic McLaren 750S. Now the one behind me today is spec'd at just over £267,000. Now this sits just above the Artura, so it is a V8 powered non-hybridised rear-wheel drive supercar, 0 to 60 in about 2.5 seconds. So come with me to have a quick look at the vehicle. Now the front end of this is kind of like a heavy facelift of the 720S. So what that means is we've got the really slim headlights inside here with the kind of hovering indicator. This is, you're able to put your hand in because it is a vent behind there, and that air goes right through up the door into the rear engine. We do have these little vents again up front where the front boot is. It is pretty big, and I've put some overlays of that when we're looking inside. As you can see, we've got the famous McLaren doors today going up, which is just an iconic McLaren touch. And if you're not sure what McLaren you're looking at, you can look at the side. It does say 750S on the side here. Now we do have these Pirelli rimmed alloy wheels in the two-tone, the kind of rotating design. And we've got a red brake caliper. They are 19-inch wheels, which is not too bad a size, I guess, for a supercar. And it's not one of these 2024 24-inch wheels. Now you may be aware that McLaren uses their carbon tubs as a basis for most of their performance range, and this car is no different, so you're able to see the exposed carbon up here. Now one of the cool features on this 750S is the fact that it's got the tonneau cover, and you're able to raise and lower it. When you lift up the door, there's two switches here, and that means you can raise and put some storage in there if the roof is up. Just be careful if you've got something in there when you're putting the roof down so you don't smash the glass. So one interesting kind of design element, I guess, is with the air vents going through the door. When you lift the doors up, sometimes you get some stones shoving down the bottom. Interesting thing, but we do have this little radiator here that is nice and warm and toasted to touch. And then we've got the little reflector on the back bumper. Now, one of the differences again with the 750 over the 720 is this spoiler is around 30% larger than what you've seen on the outgoing 720S. Now, also if you're behind one of these, the taillight design is similar, but what you're going to notice is we've got a central exhaust instead of two exhausts like you've seen in the 720. Out with that, there's not too much else to talk about back here. It's very McLaren. A lot of it's exposed. So what's quite interesting is during the experience of the McLaren, we do have little stones that are gathering down below in here, so they must be getting kicked up and they're gathering at the bottom down here. So that is a little bit, you're going to have to get your hoover out and clean that out. But this car does have parking sensors and cameras all round, so we're going to give it the caveat there for technology. And all this, as you can see, is kind of like a hollowed out material, so it is lightweight and exposed, a little bit like the Volkswagen VX220. So you join me inside the cabin of the 750S. Now you're going to see this little plaque just to remind you the car's made in Surrey, England down here. On the right hand side of the steering wheel we do have your front release, we've got your door lock, and then we've got a little nose lifter there which takes, I believe, 4 seconds to lift the car up if you're going over a speed bump. It does go down again if you're going over 30 miles per hour, so make sure you're keeping your speed down. You may notice on the steering wheel of the McLaren we do not have any buttons, so McLaren have purposely designed this vehicle to be kind of driver focused, and there's a lack of buttons on the steering wheel, unlike maybe some other brands that have all the buttons on the steering wheel. McLaren are giving you some buttons in the centre here. Now what is interesting is you've got a drive, neutral and reverse, but there's no individual parking button to descend. So what you do is you push it into neutral and then you engage the parking brake, and that's how the car will be stopped and then parked. It does also have automatic start-stop defeat down the middle there, so in a car like this you might just not want the car turning on and off. And up on the right hand side here we do have your modes to change the car, and on the left hand side is your comfort and sports. So we're going to put the foot in the brake and push the start button to start the car up. That V8 is going to rumble into life. Now we do have a new infotainment screen here versus the outgoing 720S. It's pretty fast and responsive, so you're able to get things on your phone, your sat nav, etc. We do have an arrow button here, this avocado button that can be used as a favourites and a launch control, which I'm not going to use on the track. Okay, sorry, we're going to keep that for the track. I'm not using that on the road today. Now we do have just indicators on the left, there's kind of McLaren logo is within the arm of itself. Now while we're up here I wanted to mention the little bezels again up here, so we can put it into different modes. For example, sports, track. The fuel gauge itself changes from miles, like range, into percentage. So say for example we have 100 miles of put it into sports track mode, sorry, we're getting 53% there, so that's quite an interesting design detail working with the 720. Now, there is no glove box in the car, so it's not passing in the car to Glasgow test. The glove box, and we do have McLaren P1 seats in this vehicle, so they're very figure-hugging bucket seats, and they have got some of this red and Alcantara throughout. This particular car is equipped with the red seat belts. So in the centre armrest here, we do have a little bit of storage, which is the ideal size for your corner. Now there is a USB-A and USB charge port in there, and behind the seats there's not really any storage, so there's a little bit of netting so you can store your mini McLaren. This McLaren is also featured with the optional electrochromic roof, which means it can go from transparent to opaque at a touch of a button. And also being a McLaren, we do have a front boot, or a frunk, which is about 150 litres of boot space, in addition to the 50 odd litres of boot space under that tonal cover in the rear. Of course, the 750S feels every much a McLaren as it should. We've got the doors that go up, you've got the tight cockpit, and out in the road it turns heads like nothing on earth. You get young kids running and screaming along the side of the pavements trying to take photos of you. You even have the crossovers like Volkswagen T-Crosses just pulling out in front of you just to slow down at junctions, which is a very unusual experience to experience that behaviour in a McLaren versus, say, a Toyota. So out in the road, the McLaren even feels a little bit too fast for our roads. A touch of accelerator pedal, you're flying up those speeds very quickly. And yeah, 0 to 60 is under 3 seconds, so it is a performance car at heart. Definitely something for the racetrack versus using probably every day out and about. It gets so much attention. It's a little bit lively in the rain, which is a bit unnerving on our Scottish roads. One little annoyance are the cameras. The 360 camera is optional in the reverse cameras in the gauge cluster, so if you're reversing and turning the steering wheel, you kind of lose the perception of what the camera's offering, and the resolution isn't the best quality for a £300,000 plus vehicle. That being said, if you look at a car like this, you're probably not going to be worried about too much technology and focusing on the driving experience that the 750S offers versus maybe something like a hybrid 296 or even its baby brother, the Artura. So thank you very much for watching this video on the McLaren 750S. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel below, and I will see you next video. Ciao.